is our project today? Okay. Well, I've got a rose bush here. Somebody gave it to Momi as a housewarming, and it's time to plant it down in the ground. And she thought she wanted out here. See, there's another rose bush out here that's growing now. There's a perfect spot for it right down here. And am I going to show you how to dig a hole? No, I'm not going to show you how to dig a hole. You should know that by now. And see here, look at that. There's already a drip here. Maybe there was something here before, and I thought initially this drip was for this plant here. But I'm going to look around and see. I want to make sure that there's a drip for here and not just that. Because I'm going to plant the other one in here, and I want enough water, so if I have to take this off, I was all prepared. That's what I was going to show you. I had some extra piping here. I've got some T's, some coupling, some T's here. I even got another bubbler. That's what I was going to show you. But before I do that, I've got to locate and make sure I have a dripper like this for that plant and for that plant. So I guess I better check that out. I did some digging around. Each one of these plants in here should have a bubbler, so I should have at least one bubbler, two bubblers, and that little plant 3. And I dug around and see, there's the little one for that, right there. And it was kind of shoved down in the ground. And I thought this one was for over here. I dug down in the ground a little bit with my screwdriver, and I felt under there, and I found this little section of pipe, and then I took the screwdriver some more and followed it up. And see, here's the bubbler. There's the bubbler in right there. And that should really be above the ground. See that green thing there? I'm going to pull up on this. And it should be a little stake. See, it's a stake. And this is, that root was there. See, this is just a little stake that you can kind of poke down in the ground and then leave that end up. So see, now I got it up out of the ground, and I can lift that a little bit more. The stake's probably 4 inches long or so. Now I can leave that up, and I'll turn the water back on, make sure that bubbler is not plugged up, and I don't think it is, because see how dark the ground is. There's no water here. See over here? That's from that. That's from that one right there. Okay, so I've got one there. And so this is an extra one. See? And I looked over here and I saw another one. This one was down in the ground too. It was pushed down here. It was covered up. I just felt, usually if you just kind of feel, I got my little rubber gloves on. If you feel around, you should be able to feel something. And sure enough, I found that. And then see, that's on a little stake too. See how long the stake is? And so I can push it and just leave it up above the ground. See? I want that up. But shouldn't that one's like, there was a plant here before and probably died. I was like, well, I hope I can find another one for that. Hope it's not that one. It's only for this plant. But the plant looks pretty good. So I dug around and see, found another pipe there. And there's that little post again. And the post is in the ground. Here's the end of it. Here's the end of it. Oh, I don't usually use these posts. Look at that. See? But sometimes you can do it. And this was on here. This was on here a long time ago. See, now I got it way up high, so it's not going down in the ground. Lots of times what happens is that those get plugged up because water dirt gets in there, bugs get in there. Well, bugs can still get in there now. Okay? But I've got it situated better. And so I'm only going to put this one plant in. I've got 2 bubblers. Now I can decide, am I going to reuse this right here? And I think I am. But technically, I really don't need this one over here, do I? I could do away with this. And if I had a cap, I could cap this off. I could pull this tip off, cap it off. If you get extra bubblers and they're not going to anywhere and you're not going to use them, cap them off, because that runs more water out when your sprinkler system goes on. You might find, if you go through your entire place, you might find, ooh, those are pretty. You might find that you're watering certain areas that you don't need any water, and especially if you're on a meter, if you're on a water meter, and I didn't think we were, but I think we are, because we got our first water bill. It seemed kind of high, and it was actually giving the gallons used and all that. If you don't have a water meter, you won't get that. You'll get a flat rate every single month. But I think we've got an actual meter. So because I've got two of these, I'm going to cap one off. Now I could cap that one off, and then I could extend that one. I could take that, I could cut that off and extend it with a coupling and use the same bubbler and move it over a little closer. But I mean, that could work too. If I put the plant right here in the middle, and maybe I'll cap this one off, okay? But be ready for your project. Look around, check things out. I'm glad I checked those things out. Didn't just make the assumption I had one bubbler there. Because you may find that you got one plant that doesn't look very well, and you find out, hey, I don't think it's getting any water. Now that you located one, you could have put a T on there. We didn't have any other water except this for this one. I could have put a T on there and extended this bubbler, cut it back a little bit, put the T, put another little piece, and come up here inside of this bush, put a bubbler in here, and then have another one come out. And I could have done that. I could do all that if I just went to the store and got a few parts. And see, I never know what I'm going to use next. So when I went to the store, I thought I would get a few different things. It really didn't cost me very much. Here's some 1/4-inch tubing, and I think this was 50 feet. Yeah, 50-foot coil, and that was $4 or $5. And then I got some different things in here. What's in here? Feels like there's something in here. Oh, see this? This is a cap. So I could pull one of those off, and then I can put this in the end of the pipe and cap it off. And here's my little couplings. See, I only have a few parts here, but I can make all kinds of repairs with just the things I have. Here's a coupling, so if I wanted to extend that one piece, cut it off, extend it, I'd put this in there and put a little piece of tubing on there. If I wanted to put a T, remember I said I could put a T here. This is called a 1/4-inch barbed T. This is what the T looks like. I could put one of the pipes in there and then cut that one piece off, push this on there, hook it on. I could hook it on this end, whichever end I want. And then I could have a little piece of tubing coming off this side, a little piece of tubing coming off of that side, a bubbler over here, a bubbler over there. I could use the existing bubbler for one, and I could use a new bubbler. So I got some bubblers. This is 1 gallon per hour. And this is my bubbler right there. Okay. You poke it in on this side, that's contoured, and it drips out of that side. So that's a bubbler where you put on the end. And they also have inline bubblers where this looks like this on both sides, and then there's a little hole on the side of this, and you could plug in a pipe here and a pipe here, have this drip, go out to another one, put another one of these same types, have it drip there, another one, another one, another one. You know, for different applications. In my case, I'm not going to need this bubbler. Now, I thought I was, but I'm not. And then this has some caps, some end pieces you pull off, and they look just like this. And you can pop those in. And then this is the hole punch. I haven't even used it yet, but you take the end of it, you just use this as the handle to push on there, and you punch this tip right into your pipe, and that has to be a main, like 1/2 inch or 5/8 drip irrigation pipe, kind of like this, except it's bigger. And then you would push that in, tap it in. Then you would take a coupling, and then you would poke the coupling in there. Then you'd have your pipe coming off of there, and poke that in, and then go over to your bubbler or a T or whatever. But see, I don't have many parts here, but the parts I do have, I can fix just about anything that I need that's existing. Now, granted, they have other things at the store that you can get. Okay, so in a pinch, if I needed something else, okay, I would have to get something else, but that should do for most of your projects around. And I should tell you, on these 1 gallon per hour pressure compensating drippers, okay, this is for 1 gallon, and that's good. And they also have them for 1/2 gallon and 2 gallon. So see, a plant like this here, if I had a 1/2 gallon, I would use that, but I don't, so I'm going to use a 1 gallon bubbler. And because I'm not going to use that, I'm just going to use one of their existing bubblers. Okay, and I don't know, see, those have a red end on them. Mine have a black end on them. And these other ones were done a long time ago. Maybe that's just how they had them, but back then, or maybe those are 2 gallon. If I knew those were 2 gallons, I could take one of those off, and I could put my 1 gallon on there. You know, and maybe just for the sake of argument, I could do that anyways. If I wanted. Now see, these bushes here, these would take a 2 gallon. If you had a choice, if you only had 1 gallon drippers, you could put a T on there, and 2 little pieces of pipe, 1 dripper. So 1 gallon would be a 2 gallon dripper for that. Okay, and maybe a gallon for this little bush here, or something. Or you could put a 2 gallon here, 2 gallon there, whatever. For bigger trees, see this tree right here? You could put a 2 gallon dripper right down in there, and if I pulled those rocks away, I bet you they've got at least that, or they might have 2 2-gallon drippers there. They put a T in there and put 2 of them, so you got 4 gallons of water there per hour. Now, mind you, you don't have your drippers on for an hour, so you only put so much water in your area, maybe 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 12, 15 minutes, depending. Okay, so if you have any questions, hey, how much water do I need for a certain plant? I don't know the answer to that. I'm not a professional landscaper. I just try to fix things and do different things like an average Joe would. But if you got a question, you go to the hardware store and go into the plumbing area or where the sprinklers are and talk to the salesperson there. Ask a few questions. Read a few different things. 1 gallon per hour. See, it doesn't really give you much information on here. But don't be afraid to ask, and it will be given to you. You know, just open your mouth, ask a few questions. Don't be afraid. Everybody asks questions. Get the right information so you can go back home and do your project. Okay. So I know I'm going to have to cap one of these off. I'm going to dig the hole first, and then I'll make a determination. But chances are I'll probably cap that one off with my capper, and then I'll use that one. And if I feel like I need to extend that, hey, I got the coupling to do it right here.